Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through the sources and give you the fast track to being truly well-informed. Today, we are tackling a skill that, honestly, determined how you manage your time, your energy, and your relationships. We're talking about mastering the art of the polite yet firm refusal in English.
And this is absolutely critical. I mean, for so many of you, the path of least resistance just feels like saying yes. But that yes, which, comes from a fear of feeling awkward for a second, it often just spirals into stress and resentment.
It is exhausting. So we've taken a deep look at the linguistic and cultural mechanics here. Our mission today is to show you how native English speakers decline things, requests, invitations, in a way that's natural, professional, and, most importantly, maintains goodwill.
Right. We're aiming for clarity, not for conflict. We want that no to land softly, but, definitively, we're going to move away from those halting, guilt-ridden apologies.
Okay, let's unpack this. So why is declining something so challenging? It's a simple concept, but saying no often feels like you're stepping on a landmine, especially for language learners.
Well, it really boils down to what the sources call cultural friction. English-speaking cultures, especially in, say, North America or Western Europe, they tend to be pretty low context.
Low context, meaning?
Meaning we value directness, we value transparency. So when someone asks you a question, they expect a clear answer that reflects reality. If you say yes, they assume you're committed.
And if you say no, they'd rather just hear the no instead of some vague promise you can't keep.
Exactly. No, if you come from a high-context culture where, saving face and maintaining harmony are paramount, a direct no can feel really aggressive, disrespectful even.
And that leads to what you mentioned before, the over-apology trap.
Yes.
That cascade of just unnecessary regret. What does that sound like? How do we know we've fallen into it?
It's the sheer volume of language. It's when you hear things like, I'm so incredibly sorry, I truly wish I could, but I really can't possibly make it. Maybe next time, I feel so bad about this.
You're creating drama where there isn't any. And you're signaling this huge discomfort.
Totally. And that's the key insight here. Native English speakers tend to keep it really simple, calm, and friendly. Polite English relies on tone plus structure, not on these long, drawn-out explanations.
Okay.
Which brings us to what feels like the core misconception. The belief that the word no itself is inherently rude.
It's a huge mental block for people.
Because if someone asks you to join a project and you just say, no, I can't, that feels curt. It feels like a slammed door.
It is curt because you're using what we call a hard stop. The word no, followed by a statement like I can't, is just so final. It's an unambiguous refusal, which has its place, but not in most day-to-day interactions.
So how do we fix that? How do we turn that hard refusal into a soft one? By using linguistic buffers. Just compare the feeling of these two. First, no, I can't. Okay. Harsh. I don't think I can make it this time.
Okay, that's a world of difference. Can you break that down again? I think people who struggle with this really need to hear why those feel so different, even though they mean the same thing.
The difference is purely structural. When you say I can't, you're stating a fact about your ability. It's declarative.
Right.
But when you start with what we call hedging language like I don't think or I'm not sure, you're reframing your inability. It's no longer a hard fact. It's more like an opinion or a suggestion about a future difficulty.
So you're minimizing the confrontation. You're moving it from an objective fact, I cannot, to a softer, more subjective assessment, I don't think I can.
It's de-escalation through language choice. You still hold your boundary, but you make it gentle.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's put this into a practical framework. The sources distill this whole process into a simple, three-step softening formula that you can use every single time.
This is basically your blueprint for being clear without feeling awkward. Okay, step 1, start soft. This is where we bring in that hedging language you mentioned. What are the key phrases that work as buffers? So instead of just delivering the no, you signal it's coming gently. You use phrases like, I don't think, or I'm not sure I can manage that. Another one that's incredibly useful is, I might have to pass. That signals a definite no, but without that harsh final verdict.
I might have to pass. It's polite shorthand. It sort of suggests you've thought about it, but logistics are just in the way.
Exactly. It sets the expectation. Now, step 2 is giving a reason. And this is where most people panic.
Right. They think they need to write a whole novel explaining themselves.
But isn't giving a reason just an invitation for more questions? If I say I already have plans, couldn't they just ask, oh, what plans?
That's a fantastic point, and it's where a lot of learners get tripped up. The goal of the short reason isn't to give a detailed report. It's just to provide simple context, to show you haven't just dismissed them out of nowhere. The sources are clear. In professional politeness, brevity is key. Keep it short. Okay, so what if they do push back? What if they ask, what plans?
You just politely repeat the boundary without adding new information. You can say something warm and a little vague, like, just a time conflict I need to manage, or nothing too exciting, just a packed schedule right now.
You're confirming the boundary, not opening a negotiation. Brilliant. So what are some of those good, short, non-committal reasons?
Keep it brief and factual. I already have plans for that time, or I'm a bit busy that day. If it's for work, you could say, I need to focus on my current priorities this week. You just close the loop quickly and confidently. Excellent. So now for step 3, which is the emotional check-in, ending warmly. This feels crucial for, maintaining the relationship. It's everything. If step 1 is the buffer and step 2 is the reason, step 3 is the pivot back to the person. You're showing you value them and the invitation, even though you couldn't say yes this time. It's the final impression you leave.
Okay, so give us some of those natural, warm endings.
A sincere thank you goes a long way. Thanks so much for understanding. Or if it's an invite, I really appreciate the invite. Definitely keep me in the loop for the next one.
Maybe another time is a classic.
It is, but only say it if you genuinely mean it. The key is appreciation. That part is mandatory.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, let's actually run through some of these scenarios. Let's apply the formula and see how it works.
Okay, let's start with a classic. A friend invites you to a last-minute dinner tonight. The hard refusal would be, what, like, no, I'm busy. Yeah, or even, no, I have better plans. The soft, formula-based refusal would sound more like this. Step 1, start soft. That sounds fantastic, but I don't think I can make it tonight.
Okay. Step 2, short reason. I've got a commitment I need to take care of. And step 3, end warmly. I'm sorry to miss out. Let's plan something properly next week. That flows so much better. And the actual no is sandwiched right in the middle of all that positive language.
Exactly. Okay, situation 2. Let's move to a professional context. A coworker asks for help proofreading a massive report, and you're already swamped. The abrupt refusal, I can't help you, I'm busy. Yeah, not great. The professional refusal sounds more like this. Step 1, start soft. I would like to help, but I won't be able to take that on right now.
Ooh, I like that phrase, take that on. It signals this is about workload, not willingness, precisely. Step 2, short reason. I'm currently tied up focusing on the quarterly review deadline. Step 3, end warmly. I hope you find someone, and thanks for checking with me first. It's firm, but it's completely respectful.
It is. And okay, one more. A situation where the idea is the problem. Someone suggests a 5 a.m. hike, and you absolutely dread that idea. A judgmental, hard no would be, no, that sounds awful, I hate hiking, right? Instead, the soft refusal focuses on your preference and pivots to collaboration. So, step 1. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I'm not sure that works for me. Then you can kind of merge steps 2 and 3 and pivot. Could we try something else later in the day? Maybe brunch?
You're refusing the plan without criticizing the person. What really stands out to me here is that the polite version actually seems to take less mental effort than dealing with the guilt of an over-apologetic yes.
It's just more efficient. And that efficiency is so important, especially in higher stakes environments. We should probably touch on those times when you need an even stronger no.
You mean not rude, but just more definitive.
Exactly. Especially when setting professional boundaries, this is about protecting yourself from scope creep.
Right. When a client or a manager keeps adding more to your plate, how do you deliver that firm, unambiguous no professionally?
You need phrases that are respectful but definitive. And they have to focus on capacity, not on your feelings. Use commitment language.
Okay, so give us some of those phrases. The ones for drawing a line in the sand.
That's not something I can commit to at this time. Or to sort of delegate the refusal upward, you could say, I'll have to run this by my manager to ensure it doesn't conflict with our current priorities.
That's smart. It makes the refusal a procedural necessity, not a personal block.
Yeah. And for something in writing, say an email to a client asking for something outside the contract, need a bit more structure, but the principle's the same.
Gratitude, clear boundary, and then an alternative. That's the gold standard. For example, thank you for the request. I won't be able to integrate that specific feature as it falls outside the current scope. However, we can discuss adding it to the next phase. Or you can offer a quote for the additional work. It's definitive, but it doesn't close the door on future collaboration. It makes you seem trustworthy.
Exactly. These phrases work because they're neutral. They're about managing time and scope, not about emotion.
So what does this all mean? If you take away just one thing from this deep dive, what should it be?
That saying no doesn't make you rude.
It makes you clear.
It makes you clear. Native speakers value that clarity and honesty way more than an uncomfortable yes that leads to a failed commitment. You're actually respecting their time, too.
This is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. We really encourage you to try these phrases out loud. Get comfortable hearing yourself say, I might have to pass, or I don't think I can commit to that. And here's a final thought to consider. When you master the polite refusal, you're not just managing conversations, you're preventing overload. You're stopping uncomfortable commitments. Think about how achieving that clarity in your language directly establishes your professional autonomy. When you control your commitments with your words, you control your time. And that is probably the most powerful tool you have for prioritizing your own goals and just reducing stress. We'll see you in the next deep dive.